Hey guys, Adam from ZFG Racing. Got a quick video for you this morning. Recently there were some issues with the TDN app that was resulting in failed flashes due to not being able to find the file on the device. That is actually a firmware issue, not a TDN app issue. All of your files are still there. No need to worry about that. It also can result in a Bluetooth issue where you can't actually connect the device to your phone, which is problematic for being able to update that firmware. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little tutorial on how to do the firmware update from your computer, so we can go ahead and get your devices updated and connected back to the newest version of the app, which is 2.0.2 right now. That may change, they update quite often, but moral of the story, if you're having those issues, you definitely want to make sure your app is up to date. If you still can't get it connected, I'm going to go ahead and quick show you the process. All right, so we're down here on the shop computer. We're just going to go ahead and download the latest beta version of HP Tuners. You'll hear me say this all the time. We only use the beta versions of HP Tuners. HP Tuners is constantly evolving, constantly adding definitions, constantly adding new strategies. Those are always going to be contained within the beta release of HP Tuners. I never want you guys to use the standard version. It puts us out of sync. I'm always on the latest beta because I have to be. It's much better if we're all just on the same version. Now, beta does update almost daily. Sometimes a couple times a day, depending on what's going on and what we're doing. We've had days where there's been 10 different betas, right? Because we're adding stuff or changing stuff. So I do recommend that you download it, once a week, or when you're going to be doing your tunes, just go ahead and download the newest version of beta. All right, once that's downloaded, go ahead and get it installed. It's going to say that I already have it installed on this computer because I do. Obviously, this is my shop computer, so we're not going to run that installation all the way out. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and open VCM Scanner Beta. Let that pop open here. All right. Okay, once we get VCM Scanner Beta open, we're going to go ahead and connect up our RTD device or MPVI device, depending on what you're tuning with. Go ahead and get that connected up to the USB, just like so. And then we're going to come back here. We're going to go up to the Help menu, and we're going to hit Resync Interface. Now it's giving me an error that it's not connected because the device is still booting up, but once that device is booted up, it's going to read from the interface, send some information back to HP Tuners, and then pull down the latest updates if there are any. Now obviously there's a firmware update, so it's going to pull that all the way down. Write that to the interface, and then it'll do a reboot for us. Okay, once that's all done transmitting and installing on the device, it's going to go ahead and reboot the device, reconnect, resync all of your credits. And then it's going to be all set to go once it finishes up here. All right, resync complete. So that installed the newest firmware version. And the way you can verify that is if you go ahead and go into the info log here, run an info log, it's going to give you all the information about the device and what firmware version it's on, what licenses you have. Obviously no vehicle power detected because we're not hooked up to a vehicle. If you were hooked up to a vehicle, you would get all of the information on the vehicle itself. But yeah, so that's how you go ahead and update your RTD device or MPVI 4 device, or any MPVI device for that matter, if you cannot get it connected to the Bluetooth. Now, if you can get it connected to the Bluetooth, it's easy to do in the app. There's a little inside the settings menu, there's a button for device update or firmware update. Just go ahead and run that and it'll automatically pull the firmware down. Also, all right guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to get on here real quick and show you guys how to update the firmware via the computer method. For those guys that are having issues with connecting to Bluetooth, like I said, if you can connect via Bluetooth, there is a spot in the TDN app for you to update the firmware. And if you go and try to flash or you go and try to take a data log, it's always going to check for the latest firmware and possibly do a firmware update if it's not on the latest. But like I said, I apologize for the issues that we've been having with the TDN. HP Tuners has that remedied, and all you guys really need is to update to the latest app and the latest firmware, and you'll be good to go, and you guys will be all set to get your tunes back on the car and data log. If you have any questions, please reach out to sales@tunebyzfgracing.com. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.